Hello there ladies and gentlemen, I'm Paul TX14 Walsh, welcoming you to an all new series on our channel today, whereby this video is the starter and this is a series focusing on the PC game known as Hitman. I've already played through this game once in my spare time, haven't recently completed it, and when I say played through it I mean the 7 main campaign missions which we're seeing here. There is an additional DLC campaign known as Patient Zero, I don't have access to that. But the point of this series is I'm going back through the missions and playing them at the hardest difficulty, known as Professional. Now some of you will be quick to point out if you've got this game, there is no Professional difficulty for the ICA facility missions, so really I'm playing through 6 missions, not 7. However, I'm going to very quickly, in the opening video of this series, go through the second half of the ICA facility mission to demonstrate the differences or provide a reference point for the differences between normal difficulty and professional difficulty, and also articulate what I'm going for as part of this playthrough. The point of this playthrough is for me to complete all 6 of the main campaign missions, going from Paris all the way to Hokkaido, and I'm going to be doing it on professional difficulty and going for the Silent Assassin Suit Only achievement. Now Silent Assassin is the highest possible rating you can get for each mission, whereby you only take out the targets that you've been instructed to take out. No bodies have been discovered apart from the bodies of the targets you've killed if you kill them via accidental or environmental deaths, and on top of that nobody's allowed to know you were there. So no CCTV footage. If you're recording on the camera you've got to delete it. Those are the main ones from what I recall. And so combined to that then the suit only aspect, which is whereby you take away 50% of your toolset as Agent 47 the Hitman. You do not have the ability to use any disguises. You must do it all in only the suit that you start with. And for reference, the suit is the one you typically see on the branding for the Hitman games, whereby Agent 47 is in a black suit with a white shirt and a red tie. And we're going to be seeing that throughout this playthrough. It's a lovely combination, a fine gentleman's suit. But we're going to start, as pointed out a second ago, with the ICA facility mission, in particular the final test, to provide our reference point for the rest of the videos in this series. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for those wondering why did I skip the opening cutscene? The reason is it provides you with some context as to what the mission's about and what your target's behaviour will potentially be like. However, I personally feel that the opening cutscene can actually jeopardise your approach to certain missions. And this one, it jeopardises my ability to get to my target very quickly. So therefore, that's why I'm skipping it. I apologise for those of you who wanted to see it. I don't think it adds too much value. I won't be skipping the cutscenes at the end of missions, however, because I feel they provide more value. And in fact, I will go ahead and include the cutscenes that preface a mission, so well before the cutscene which we're mentioning at the moment. Now, what you're seeing on normal difficulty as well is the fact that I can pretty much run out in the open past guards so long as I keep a bit of distance from their line of sight. I can get away with being gradually detected by the guards. Just going to move past this window. On professional difficulty that will not be the case. I will have to be slow if I'm going to creep past people. I just sneak past them gradually and also use cover to sneak past them rather than just use line of sight and long distance and slow detection in order to get past them. So here my idea is just using instinct mode to see what's going on the other side of the wall. I'm going to let my target start moving, and once this guard starts moving as well, I'm going to choke him out and toss him in the bathroom, which is to the right of me right now. And any second now he should start moving because he follows my target. Here we go. And climb. And run up to him. And choke him out. And bring him into the bathroom. Keeping in mind here that I do have the ability to dump him in a container, which I'm aware of already. And move this gun. The idea here is I'm going to drop the gun here. So that way the only time it's going to get detected is when the KGB officer comes into the room, which is much later on. Now my target is coming back to the room. He's on a circuit effectively, something which I've studied through doing the mission previously. And that's one thing you'll get used to in Hitman in general. Your targets and the NPCs are all on circuits, or they'll be in a fixed location throughout the entirety of the mission. He's going to walk up to the desk in the middle. And now if I go up behind him and eliminate with 2 bullets in the back. And then drag him. In fact, I'll open the door here. Pop him in the box. And rather than let the KGB guy notice that there was a rifle on the floor there and become a little bit suspicious, I'll take the rifle with me on my back. It's time to leave. Now, of course, this is a very basic mission. There's a lot more in terms of number of NPCs, the environment, etc. in the other Hitman missions. However, this is just an example and acts as a primer for what effectively you can encounter or expect to encounter. As you can see again, I'm eluding the line of sight of the guards by simply pulling distance as quickly as possible. Now, I shouldn't be able to do this in professional. Instead, I will have to use cover and be much more intelligent in my approach. I'm just going to quickly leap over this doorway again. Avoid Mr. Copper there. And then hop back over the fence. Alley up. And I'll just drop the gun here so that way I don't look suspicious. And end the mission.
Congratulations, Agent. You are cleared for field duty.
Cutscene.
I hope you know what you just did. The chopper leaves at dawn. Now get out of my sight.
So what happens now?
You go back into the world, disappear, stay on your own and on the move. When we need you, we will contact you.
And so does.
He played his hand, and he lost. He cannot touch us now. Still, I can't believe we beat him at his own game.
If you know your enemy.
Quite right. I should tell you, the trail went dead after Romania. Our team found no records of any kind. No name. Nothing.
I think they called me 47.
That's not a name.
So make it one.
All right. Agent 47.
You were always the best. Nobody ever came close. You define the art, and it defines you. Your actions have changed the world. Powerful men have fallen by your hand, but by the same token, others have risen. Do you realize what kind of world you've been shaping? Does the ICA? Does your handler? I live in that world. I have seen the consequences. I have felt the cost. That's what defines me.
Okay, so now to provide the direct comparison, also do the first of the 6 missions, we go to Paris. And on screen you can see the differences between normal and professional as marked out by the professional ticket. So I'm going to just give you 5 seconds to read through those, or pause the video if you require a longer period of time to read them. Okay, so before we get into this, I'm going to provide you with the briefing, so that way you can see the cutscene that I love to watch.
Good evening, 47. Your destination is the Paris Fashion Show by Sanguine, one of Europe's leading couture brands. Your targets are Sanguine owner Viktor Novikov, a former oligarch turned fashion mogul, and his partner Dalia Margolis, a retired supermodel. an iconic power couple on the global fashion scene, and two of the most dangerous people in the world. Novikov and Margolis are in fact the ringleaders of Iago, an enigmatic spy ring that deals in the global elite's most valuable secrets. Unscrupulous and opportunistic, Iago has caused disastrous security leaks all over the globe. When Crimean separatists caused a deadly meltdown at the Odessa nuclear power plant, Iago gave them access to the plant's security network. And when the Delgado drug cartel shot down the plane of President Hernandez and his family, Iago provided the classified flight plans. Now Novikov and Margolis have obtained a knock list of British undercover agents, which they plan to sell at a secret Iago auction during the Sanguine show. So our client, MI6, need us to stop the ringleaders before the knock list ends up in the wrong hands. The Sanguine show will be swarming with security, and Viktor Novikov will be the focus of everyone's attention. But despite his posturing, he is merely the money man. The real target is Dalia Margolis. Beautiful and brilliant, she is a master manipulator and the true brains behind Iago. Two targets, a highly public event. At first glance, an impossible task. Then again, I do know how you love a challenge. I will leave you to prepare.
Okay, so before we get into it as well, I'll just show you the setup I'm using. Okay, so planning. I'll just change the suit to 47 signature suit, the one that we all know and love. I'll be using the suppressed ICA-19 pistol, fiber wire and coin, and I'll be using this setup throughout all of the missions. And our starting location will be the default one when you're first playing through the mission, so the red carpet in this instance. Without further ado, let's get on with it. Okie dokie, so here we go. Now, straight away, I'm going to break it down into 3 parts, this mission. Part 1, I have to rush. If I don't, this is going to take a very long period of time, and I don't really want to waste time. Part 1 is taking out the CCTV. The reason I'm going to do this at pace is because there's 2 guards who rotate in and out of the CCTV room in the basement, and if I don't beat one of the guards, who's the one based outside the room, he will rotate into the room at the most inconvenient time. Now I will trigger a 3rd guard to leave the room by running underneath that camera. Now in doing that, what this actually means is this sets me up really nicely, because the guard who's going to leave the room is the guy who'll be closest to me when I go to destroy the CCTV equipment, and it forces him to turn his back to me a lot faster. Okay, so you saw him leaving the room there briefly. By flicking the fuse box, the guy who's in the room, who's getting irate right now, comes charging out, and he does this pretty fast. You have to react quite quickly to this guy. So now I get out the box. We can see that the guard who was going to leave has re-entered the room. The guy on the fuse box is busy, and that guy is not paying attention because he's too busy looking at the server, and that's the CCTV eliminated, and now we can go and party. You'll note there as I ran past the, well, I snuck past the guy looking at the fuse box, I did not move quickly in sneak mode. And that's because if you move quickly in sneak mode past him, he actually turns around and comes back into the room and will see you doing the business. So now, part 2. Killing the target. To do this, we need to get up to the top floor. We're going for the female target first. I've had to use a coin to enable me to get past these guys out in the open, out in the yard. And in return, it means I can use the piping system on the outside, the drainage system, in order to be able to start ascending. So I'm already up to the 1st floor. There's a technician on my right, I'm going to run past him. He doesn't see me. There's a technician on my left, he's going to look at artwork. I need to wait for him to look, otherwise I get seen. There we go. Jumping out the window now, we're rotating around to the northwest corner of the building. Jump over. Up we go. Now I can afford to do this, I walk around at full pace, simply because there's nobody to spot me here, and I've got to climb up a pipe. Now as I do this, it's important to be in the northwest corner here for my approach, because I'm going to attack a particular room of the building. This is known as the laptop room, or at least that's what I refer to it as. It's where Margolis keeps her laptop, which she's using to run the auction. And I need to get into this room and spook the civilian, who I've just done. Who's now going to rotate round. I rotate around her, because she's got terrible peripheral vision, this one, and she's done for. And she's an important takedown, I'll explain later. But I also need to dispose of this bodyguard, because he could look in at any moment. So he's going to look at that coin, never touch it though, nobody touches that coin. Drag you out of the room, sorry, out of the way of the room I should say. Pair of scissors, more on that in a bit. Okay, and drop him here. Now no, I'm going to just sneak into this room, I'm not going to rush. Because if you rush, one of the guards outside will hear and will look in and catch you doing your business. Now I don't have somewhere I can dispose of these bodies, which is why I'm putting them out here on the ledge. It's not ideal, as I'll explain in a minute, but it works. Okay. Now I've only got one coin, I should really pick up that coin and the gun. Now I need to pick up the gun because if it's still there for later on, people are going to notice it and react to it. Either call security or come pick up a gun. And I need the second coin as insurance. Now let's have a look at this laptop. Because this is Margolis' laptop, if I want to interrupt the bid which is being controlled via it, I need to go get myself the security dongle, the password dongle. To do so I need to get to the attic. But the nice thing is, because this is all civilian space, the only thing is I didn't have an invite to this area, nobody notices, I'm just seen as another person who was allowed up here, I'm a guest. So I can just walk through the space. The important part is now getting into the attic. Now there are a total of 11 guards in the attic. They're in pairs apart from a set of 3 towards where we need to go, which is on the western side. Now I need to wait for this guy here, center screen, to move. If I don't, there's a 50-50 chance he'll spot me when I walk in. Nobody else will bat an eyelid. The butler doesn't care. And there we go. Wait for this guy to move. And here's the thing about professional as well. Taking your time is just as important as rushing things. You'll need to rush things in small instances, but in general I find that the slower you move in professional, the easier it becomes. Here's a screwdriver, which I need for killing the other target, so target 1. But now you may be wondering as to why I'm picking up all the inanimate objects. Hammers. I didn't pick up the letter opener, I didn't need that, and I don't really need the hammer to be honest, I'm going to pick up in a minute. But I did need the, well I need the screwdriver, I've already said that. The pair of scissors is useful, because when I run out of coins, I need surplus to be able to create noise. And you can toss those items to create noise. These guys have their conversation, which is scripted to let you know about the fact the lighting rig is poorly controlled, sorry, poorly constructed. Okay. There's 3 guards here, 2 of which I'm interested in. That guy's a problem, guy in centre. Guy on the left here is the one I want because he has the dongle. So we just wait for a bit. These 2 are not linking up this time. I need to let this guy come over to have the conversation because otherwise when I pull the fuse box here, he is the first one to react, not the guy I want. Noting that when I pull the fuse box, all the guards rotate towards the eastern side of this area. Here we go. Sorry. Just another one of those power failures that happens every time a big event occurs. Let him come by. Okay. Now note, I'm going to let him repair the fuse box before I subdue him. If you don't, the other guard comes over to investigate. Listening out for the call, which is the little pop noise to say that the switch has been flicked. And just moving his body in time to make sure that the other guy doesn't rotate back and spot me. Because as you can see, he has a very, very limited but dangerous line of sight. Move back again. Gonna wait for him to rotate. Turn around, please. Thank you. Okay, now I've got 2 guards here that I need to get past. Now to get past them, you need to make some noise. Don't want to throw the screwdriver. The scissors will do it. Why are you looking here? I threw the scissors over there.
Command, just 2 seconds.
That was close. I was going to say, why is he looking over here when we threw the scissors that way? But it worked. And here's a replacement coin, if you need a replacement coin. Knowing that we're very briefly spotted by this guy via the window and he's rotated back, else we have to wait. We can't cross this gap. Of course, this would be a lot easier if I could take disguises, because then I wouldn't have to worry about this, but because we're playing Silent Assassin Suit only, or SASO, SASO, we have to put on the try-hard pants. Slowly does it. Yep. 2 to go. He's rotating back, that's perfect timing, which means I can get really close to this door. Now you're wondering, am I going to be using the save at any point? Yes, I will be using the save. Now in terms of when I'll be using the save, I will be using it to deal with the... Sorry, in preparation for dealing with target 1. Because I've actually found that sometimes dealing with target 1, the way I deal with him, can be glitchy and lead to some rather hilarious screw-ups. Hello. But more on that in a bit. So now I can't get back into this northwestern laptop room by the route I entered it. Makes sense, there's guards there. But what I can do is use my particular set of climbing skills once again to be a nuisance. Time to go the long way round. Okay, so climb up. Coin. Okay, time to manipulate the laptop. Making sure I've cleared the room and everything around. That I have. So, password's in play. Now we just wait. But importantly, how am I going to deal with this situation? Because there is a complication now that I haven't really explained. Margolis, i.e. the target, is not by herself. She has someone who follows her around. It's not a guard, but it's a civilian. Or at least that would be my understanding, the way the person reacts when they spot you. As a result, I need to separate the two, because the civilian follows Margolis very closely. To do so, Margolis is going to move towards the laptop. The civilian is going to stand near the whiteboard. When they enter the room and they take up their assumed positions, I'm going to use a coin, placing it here, to bait Margolis out. Margolis is the one who reacts to the coin, not the civilian. In doing so, when Margolis picks up the coin and turns around to go back, I'll then take her out. Now how am I going to do it? You're probably wondering, will I use a pistol? Will I use fibre wire? I'll definitely be using fibre wire. Because then I can instantly transition to the drag of her body around this corner behind the curtains and not worry. Speaking of which, here we go. So, Margolis is in the room and the accompanying civilian. Throw the coin. Noticing, by the way, that the coin rolls forward from where you tell it to land. It bounces. So you need to, as a result, anticipate how far the coin is going to roll, which is what we've done here.
That is Dahlia Margolis, supermodel turned spy master.
Done. Deal with me.
Victor Novikov is next.
Okay, so drop the body. Now here's the interesting part. The civilian. The civilian can act in a number of ways at this point. He can either come out and follow the path of Margolis. He can come out to just do whatever he wants, or he can just stand there for ages, or he walks out the room. I can't take the risk. So I'm going to use the coin, to move him into this corner and go for a subdue. Now he's the only one who can react to the coin. Of course, he's heard it, but I need to hide just in case he spots me. And then subdue. Now I could have got away with it. I could have just scaled around the edge of the building. Well, there's a high chance I could have done that. But I didn't want to take the risk of him coming out and potentially seeing the bodies, because he's very unpredictable, I found in my runs through. So now with this little pile of bodies built up, I'm going to take my one and only save. Okay, so I'll be honest with you, I have had to use the save. It went a tiny bit wrong on the timing. Tiredness took over a little bit. Yeah, I'll pick up my coin as well. So now we're going to make our way down towards target 1. To do so, I'm going to make my way over towards the drain pipe over here, which is a ledge onto the northern side. Here we go. The thing is, I could use the... She's not going to notice a thing. She only hears the noise of me making the movement, not the actual movements. So, the idea behind this is, I can't use the drain pipe on the northeastern corner of the building because there's a civilian terrace. There's a terrace filled with civilians. I'm just shortening my words at this point. And they will see you if you try to use that pipe. So instead what I'm having to do is make my way down from the second floor via the northwest corner to the first floor to then transcend over to the northeastern pipe to be able to come down the side I want. Now you'll see that there is a guard here and he does a circuit, and the idea is I should be able to get down to the pipe and drop off by the time he finishes his circuit. He comes back up onto the patio here, and therefore I can come down. Almost there. And he's still moving, so that's good timing. And there's the pipe. There we go. Okay, so now, as I'm trespassing, I just take my time. Because as I walk around this corner, I'm back in civilian land. Now to be quick here, because I need to expose the wiring. Okay, so I need to expose this wire plug. I can't at the moment because of the model and the cameraman. The model in particular will notice me. It's also worth noting that that guard there will become very suspicious of me as I go to expose this. So I need to do it fast. There we go. Traps deployed. Now, I just wait. And I have to wait for our dear fellow, our esteemed target of the day.
Hey, watch it. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
See if it's you, sir.
Whatever.
To make his way round, which takes a little bit of time. So he's coming this way, so our target will do 3 things before he goes to the position I want him in. 1, he approaches the bar. And this is one of the opportunities that you can exploit on normal, or even on professional if you're not going for a suit-only run. He will go to the bar and ask for a bare-knuckle boxer, which if you disguise yourself...
Head of Sanguine and ringleader of Iago. Quite the resume.
If you disguise yourself as a bartender or the waiter, you can make up that drink using a recipe found in the basement. You can put rat poison in it, give him the vomits, and then he goes to a bathroom and vomits his guts out, and you can drown him. But here you can see he gets irate because the drink's not available. Part 2 is he then moves in towards the centre and speaks to the blonde lady you can see at the top of our screen. Don't know her name, but she's the Wakefield lady. And then there's the third and final conversation he has with this lovely lady who accosts him really badly. And it triggers him to come out towards this side. Now it's worth noting that if Victor has, our target, has been given enough time, he will actually parade on the catwalk rather than follow all the way around to this route. And then once he's done on the catwalk, he'll come into here, ask for a drink before then going outside to have an interview with a camera team. Then he goes inside to have this conversation to then go back outside, which can add a bit of extra time. In fact, if he's on the catwalk and you catch him as he starts the catwalk and then the camera interview, it's 5 to 10 minutes and it's a long way. We're almost there, I think. Hopefully this time I'm not going to screw it up. I'll admit though, they've done a brilliant job in creating the environments, and the attention to detail is stunning. Victor and Valerie, the sequel. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to flick this, and I want to catch him just as he's about to walk into it.
Nothing there.
Ah, shit.
Stranger than fiction.
Both targets are down.
Now we walk away. Done it. Now earlier, the issue I was having was that the bodyguard also walked into the pool of water, even though the electricity was off and he was being killed by it. So instead, what we do here is we take our time and just walk away. Now I'm not going to give any fancy exits, I'm just going to walk out the front door because it's the safest option. And yes, they're searching around now for who killed him. But by just walking away like this, not drawing any attention to yourself, you get away nice and slowly. And that is Paris. And I've got to admit, what I like about this level is for the first actual proper mission, there's a lot of verticality to it. And there's also a lot of width. There's so many different approaches. And even on suit only, or the suit only approach, you can have some real fun. Now there's plenty of other ways of doing this. There's probably faster ways, there's probably more stylish ways, but this is just one way of approaching the mission, and hopefully it's been of use to you. And out the door we go. Good night, gentlemen. Vive la France.
How was Moscow?
Kamarov is gone. I set him up as a Langley spy. It's quite the scandal at the FSB. His death will not be investigated. Your turn.
Very well. The secrets of the global elite. 5 years of work. Everything we've collected. This thing makes WikiLeaks look like a gossip rag. The pen beats the sword, huh?
I have found that whoever wields the sword decides who holds the pen.
And whoever holds the gun decides who wields the sword.
Smile, Victor. Your reputation is safe. Now run along. I'm sure you have pretty dresses to attend to. Victor, good luck with the show. I have a feeling it's going to be the one you'll be remembered for.
Yes, you could say that his show came to a shocking end. There we go. Silent Assassin, suit only. Well, with that, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like, comment or subscribe for future videos of this kind on the channel, including the Hitman series. But until next time, take care and I wish you all the best.